I'm pleased and honored to be speaking here today about intimacy, happiness, and longevity. There is a vast body of research that correlates satisfying relationships with health, happiness, and longevity. Now, this is not surprising because everything is relationships. It's all relationships all the time, from little cosmic strings relating with each other, including and transcending to the manifest universe. It's all relationships all the time. And the most complex and sophisticated relationships we've discovered have been the relationships between human beings. Our intersubjectivity here in this room today, our relationships with each other, represents the penultimate peak of evolution in the known universe. Over the last several million years, the biggest threats to human beings have not been snakes, parasites, or ice storms. The biggest threats to human beings have been other human beings who can attack them, reject them, humiliate them. And this is very important because we're intensely relational beings. Most of our brain is dedicated to getting along with other people. And when human beings have had problems with other human beings, this is where we go first, social engagement. And we're very good at it. Social engagement, if there's a problem, we work it out until we both feel better. But that doesn't always work, as we know. And if our nervous systems read threat, we go into defensive reactions. Attack, fight, flight. We make an alliance with another person against the person who's threatening us. And these defenses are powerful, and they're trained in us from before birth. How well a mother manages stress in the last trimester will determine to a certain extent how well her baby handles stress after birth. In the first year of life, how attuned a mother is to a child will determine the attachment style of that child, sometimes for the rest of that child's life. Whether that child is secure and comfortable in relationships with intimate people, anxious and insecure, or cut off and avoidant. In the second year of life, if a child is disapproved of by a caregiver, they'll go into a shame reaction. They'll blush, they'll look down, they'll freeze, and social learning takes place. Shame's unpleasant, but it's necessary for us to be moral and virtuous people. The human nervous systems don't like shame, as they don't like fear, frustration, and sadness. And so they develop defenses against those. Defenses like denial. I didn't do it. Projection. You did it. Reaction formation. Go throw a temper tantrum. Scapegoating. Go and kick the cat or hit your little brother. These defenses continue to develop in us throughout childhood and are largely regulated by our family and the cultures around us because we don't have the neural architecture, we don't have the neural development until we're adolescents to begin to self-reflect on these defenses and regulate them ourselves. And by then, they've had years to develop. They've become intertwined into our personalities. And this especially causes problems in relationships because all communication is complementary. If I enter a defensive state with you, you're going to enter a defensive state with me. And now we have an escalating conflict. And conflicts can escalate into explosions or implosions, and we've all experienced that at some time. If the relationship with our chosen person is going well, it tends to make it easier to deal with vicissitudes in our other levels of relationships. If it's going badly, it tends to make it worse in those other levels. Now, this isn't surprising. Human beings are one of only 3% of animals that pair bond. And the human pair bond is a powerful, powerful pair bond. And sex is associated with an awful lot of drives. For instance, there's lust. Lust is when a more masculine person is around a more feminine person, and there's a little spark of erotic polarity. And when that spark forms, their nervous systems start talking them into wanting to have sex right now. Lust is impersonal, it's innocent. But if we start focusing in on one person, we can fall in love. Different circuits are activated. Romantic infatuation. And romantic infatuation is a powerful drive. We get excited. We have elevated levels of testosterone and dopamine. We're obsessed with our partner. We want to have sex all the time. We want to reveal ourselves to them and have them reveal themselves to us. But romantic infatuation only lasts for 6 months to 2 or 3 years. And then it passes until another drive, intimate bonding. The sexual urgency fades. We begin to have levels of intimacy that are analogous to our family of origin. We begin to want to have a family often with this person, have children of our own. But also, because we're not medicated by romantic infatuation, the defenses that we learn growing up begin to manifest themselves, and they can cause problems. They can cause the kinds of problems that we've all seen, we've all experienced in marriages. Problems that can escalate into escalating conflicts. 69% of all marital issues are perpetual issues. They never get fully resolved. We just get better at repairing them. And we get better with effort and progress over time. Effort and progress, not focusing on outcomes, but focusing on mistakes as growth opportunities, is what's called a growth mindset. The growth mindset of making effort and progress, seeing mistakes as growth opportunities, is infinitely preferable to a fixed mindset where we have to do things perfectly and we're frightened of mistakes. And Carol Dweck, the social scientist, has done dozens and dozens of studies demonstrating this. And we need to have this kind of an effort because problems happen in marriage. Normal marital sadism happens and normal marital hatred happens in marriage. And to be able to withstand these forces, we need commitment. Now, there's two major kinds of commitments in relationship. The first kind is, I will stay as long as. And all relationships should start with, I will stay as long as commitments. I will stay as long as my needs are being met. I will stay as long as love's happening. I'll stay as long as it feels right. But when we begin to feel like life partners, we need to shift into, I will do what it takes commitments. I will do what it takes to love you. I will do what it takes to resolve issues. If we stay in, I will stay as long as commitments, we run the risk of having what Elizabeth Cohen calls a consumer marriage, where if there's problems, we think about leaving our partner, trading them in on a better partner. If we have, I will do what it takes commitments, we don't think about leaving our partner or trading them in. We think about solving the problems. Now, to do that, to maintain that container of the marital love affair and the marital friendship, it's best to focus on levels of fulfillment. If we feel a little bit less fulfilled in our friendship or our love affair, we need to talk about it with each other, make progress, effort and progress, growth mindset. And if we have problems with that, if we can't make progress, get help from somebody. We all are here to help each other, and there's lots of people that are here to help us love each other better. Also, in marriages, there's always ruptures. There's always problems that happen, and we need to have quick repair. And repairs are just like the repair I described that Becky and I had in the 70s. Just like we did with our fantasy about our perfect partner. We recognize there's a problem. We soothe ourselves. Then we validate and apologize to our partner and make a little bit of progress. Then we make affectionate connection. And I want people that I work with to learn how to repair in minutes. Not hours, not days, not weeks, not never, minutes. Now, as we do that, we influence each other. And we influence each other to accelerate our individual and our relational evolution. And this is called the Michelangelo Effect. And we can maintain that container, and in that container we begin to get healthier, we begin to get happier. And also, it gives us resilience of all the things that happen in a lifetime. Aging bodies, child rearing, the vicissitudes of this modern existence that we've been hearing about all morning. This container, when we maintain it, is one of the best health, longevity, and happiness generating containers that's ever existed. First time in the history of the world, we've had large numbers of people with equal power. And the first time in the history of the world that we've had people with our cognitive sophistication, well-educated people. So if we maintain this container, if we have growth mindsets, if we learn to have quick repair, we help each other be happier, we help each other be healthier, and then over time, we help each other live longer and longer, and this spreads to our families, it spreads to the communities around us. Thank you very much for your attention.